boys and girls. Welcome to Nighty Night Story Time. This is when you join me when I try to get to sleep. Sometimes it's easy to get to sleep, but sometimes it's not. So let me see, I've had a long day. But you know what? My brain is just moving too fast. I guess I could try counting sheep. 1, 2, 3, no, too slow. I could sing a lullaby. I do know Rockabye Baby. No, I think I read a good book. That might make me tired. Here's a good book. Good Night Unicorn. Good Night Unicorn. By Pearl Horn, published by Bailiwick Press. In the great green wood, there are sweet hawthorns and breezes warm and a blessing of unicorns with spiraling horns. And there were 3 little fairies sitting on cherries and 2 drowsy foals being read to by trolls. And pearly white coats and rainbows afloat and a big red balloon and of course the full moon. And flowing silk manes and nighttime refrains and a gnome with a brush and a nuzzling blush and soft phoenix feathers that fall with a hush. Good night unicorns, good night horns, good night breeze and sweet hawthorns. Good night fairies, good night cherries, good night foals, and good night trolls. Good night olden, good night beauty, good night cutie with tattooed patootie. Good night purple, good night pink, good night colts, and bashful wink. Good night rainbow, good night jet black, good night plum, and flutterback. Good night mane and lashy eye. Good night gnome and dragonfly. Good night fluffy, good night balloon. Good night goodness, good night moon. Good night wonder beyond compare. Good night unicorn lovers everywhere. That was a good book. You know what? Maybe a second book will make me sleepy. Good Night Firefly by Gabriel Eberozo. Nina was scared of this dark, so it was good she had a nightlight, which made things better. Then one night, the electricity went out. Nina watched as scary shadows crept across her walls. Every noise sounded like the whispering of monsters. Mom? Dad? They must be fast asleep. Nina went back to her room. Through her windows, Nina saw a soft yellow glow. The yard was full of tiny dancing points of light. Fireflies. Nina ran outside. The fireflies whirled and flashed as Nina lifted her jar. Come on, little guy, come with me. Back in her room, the little fireflies' light scared away the shadows. The only sound was the gentle night breeze. But there was still one problem. Nina wasn't sleepy anymore. What could she do? Under the bed covers, Nina read her book by the firefly's golden light. She read aloud so he could hear, and she pointed to the most exciting pictures. But when Nina finished the story, she still wasn't tired. She had another idea. Nina gathered her dolls together and put out her tea set. More tea, Firefly, she asked. The firefly's light slowly flicked on and off. She guessed that meant no. Want to make shadow puppets, Firefly, she asked. Nina held her hands up into his light. First she made a rabbit, then a duck and a dinosaur. But the firefly blinked slower and slower, and the shadow animals grew dimmer. Nina was about to play dress up when she noticed how dark it was getting. Peering into his jar, she saw the firefly lying at the bottom. His light had become very faint. Firefly, is your electricity low? What do you need? Nina tried everything she could think of to make his light stronger. A battery, a wind-up key, her favorite chocolate bar, but nothing worked. Suddenly Nina knew what to do. Under the tree, a sparkle of fireflies blinked and swirled as she turned the light lid. Her little firefly slowly rose up and out of the jar. As he flew higher and higher, his light became brighter and brighter. Back in bed, Nina gazed at the soft light glowing through her window. "Good night, Firefly," she whispered. "Good night, Nina." Oh, my second book. Here's a nice short one. I'll read that next. Goodnight Goon by Michael Rex. Published by G.P. Putnam and Sons. In the cold gray tomb there was a gravestone and a black lagoon and a picture of Martians taking over the moon. And there were 3 little mummies rumming their tubbings. And 2 hairy claws and a set of jaws and a loud screechy bat and a black hat and a skull and a shoe and a pot full of goo and a hairy old werewolf who was hollering boo. Good night, tomb. Good night, goon. Good night, Martians taking over the moon. Good night, bones in the black lagoon. Good night, mummies. Good night, tummies. Good night, claws, and good night, jaws. Good night, moans, and good night, groans. Good night, screechy bat, and good night, hat. Good night, skull, and good night, shoe. Good night, creature, good night, goo. And good night to the old werewolf, hollering boo. Good night, you, get under there. Good night, monsters everywhere. Boys and girls, thank you for joining me. Next week, I hope you come back for Nighty Night Story Time. I'm going to take my little friend and snuggle him.